Hey everyone, so I have been playing this rather unconventional Bloodthirster overheal build for the last couple of weeks, and now that all the fine-tuning is finished, I want to share it with you. This build is quite successful for me in high platinum elo, and in my opinion it is a very good choice if you want to play Conqueror MF in the current meta. So without further ado, let me now present you the skill order, rune page and items that work best here. The idea of this build is to abuse the synergy between shielding effects and MF's W passive strut. MF gets a ton of movement speed from a W as long as she does not take any damage. Therefore, you typically consider strut as out of combat movement speed and use it for roams and rotations. When the damage is absorbed by a shield, however, strut indeed remains active. This means that as long as you remain shielded, you can kite and chase the enemy like crazy. Since this is the main idea of this build, you obviously max your W ability by level 9. After that, you just max Q by level 13 and finally E by level 18. I also like to get a second point in Q at level 3 for more power in lane, but after that I go straight for W max. Okay, so let's talk runes. Conqueror is by far the best keystone with this build, since your persistent kiting and chasing in combination with all your shields allows you to stay in combat as long as you desire. This makes it very easy to time your Conqueror proc and get a devastating ult off. This requires a little practice and getting used to, but it is way easier than it looks, trust me. In the second row of the precision path, you definitely take overheal. This rune is one of the core pieces of this build and gives you another shield to preserve your strut passive. This rune will easily block a couple thousand damage per game on average with this build. Since you don't want to buy a lot of attack speed on MF, Legend Alacrity is the preferred choice in the third row. While Bloodline in combination with overheal might look tempting, the 18% bonus attack speed really help you a lot while kiting, and you get more than enough lifesteal from your items, so you don't need Bloodline. From a strictly mathematical point of view, by the way, Alacrity has a way better gold value than Bloodline, which makes it objectively better, especially considering the item build. In the fourth row, I take Coup de Grace 95% of the time. Should the enemy have picked health stacking tanks such as Cho'Gath or Zac, then I pick Cut Down instead of Coup de Grace. Pretty self-explanatory though. My secondary path is Sorcery with Celerity and Gathering Storm. Celerity is an obvious choice. This minor rune on its own makes this build so much rewarding, since the AD conversion got doubled a few patches ago. Gathering Storm might not fit the meta too well at the moment, but not only is attack damage one of the best stats on MF, but it also scales well with lifesteal and with Conqueror's true damage conversion. Therefore, I consider this rune to be better than Scorch for this MF build from 10 minutes onward. And pretty much every game reaches the 10-minute mark, right? Alright, since runes should be clear now, this is the item build. You rush, and I really mean rush, a Bloodthirster every single game. This is a huge one-item power spike and basically unlocks this entire build. The Bloodthirster shield plus Overhealed shield give you a lot of safety and lets you duel bruisers and tanks for as long as necessary, while at the same time protecting yourself from assassins and burst mages. This item is truly the core of this playstyle and, I remind you, got 200 gold cheaper in patch 8.11. You should finish tier 2 boots after Bloodthirster latest, and most of the time boots of swiftness are the way to go, since they emphasize your kiting playstyle and make you even harder to catch. However, I frequently also buy Ninja Tabby or Mercury Treads. Against an enemy AD assassin, such as Rengar or Zed, your shields are simply not enough to keep you alive. With the extra survivability from Tabby though, you will deal with them assassins so much more easily. Should you face a lot of CC on the other hand, Mercury Treads are a great pickup. You can duel almost anyone as long as you keep auto-attacking. Crowd control stops you from auto-attacking, so reducing CC is the key, for example in a Fiddlesticks matchup. After boots, you want to work towards your Stormrazor. This is another huge power spike, since you can easily recharge the Stormrazor crit while chasing or repositioning. On top of a huge damage boost, Stormrazor also provides a burst of movement speed with every activation, which is obviously perfect for this build. After Stormrazor, you finish off your core item build with a Last Whisper item. Your default option is obviously Lord Dominik's Regards, since it provides you the most damage. Should the enemy have a Vladimir, a Dr. Mundo or another strong healer in their team, you of course buy a Mortal Reminder instead. Last Whisper items provide total armor penetration these days, I remind you. Therefore, this will greatly boost your damage against squishy and tanky targets alike. Moreover, your ult will now deal great amounts of damage even when you don't manage to get a Conqueror proc. Most games in the current meta are most likely over at this point, but should you still be playing, you now need to consider the late game. For a smooth transition, you now buy a Zeal item, namely Rapid Fire Cannon or Phantom Dancer. You buy Phantom Dancer if there's someone on the enemy team who will jump on you all the time and you have no chance of kiting them. This includes assassins such as Rengar, but also some bruisers like Jax or Camille. The passive allows you to survive their attacks and to kite away. If there's no one on the enemy team who can threaten you directly like that with a gap closer, you buy Rapid Fire Cannon instead for the increased range. This makes it easier to proc Conqueror and lets you stay a little safer while harassing. As a last item, you buy Infinity Edge. This is the biggest damage increase after a Zeal item you can get, and the true damage conversion works on your ult as well. At this point you should almost be 1v5ing the entire enemy team and simply run away with the game. Alright friends, now it's time for you to go out there and test this build for yourselves. Let me know in the comments how it worked out and leave me a like if you find this video helpful. Bye!